This is the 2024 GMC Sierra 3500 HD Denali Ultimate. Do you get the right features for a sticker price of $99,380? I can't wait to see what kind of comments I receive from this video. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. And in today's video, I'm going to give you the information to answer that very question. Now you might notice something a little different on this particular truck. Number one, this is the first 3500 we've done of the 24 models. And the other thing that's going to be a first, I don't think I've ever filmed one of these trucks that had the long bed on it. You can probably tell the difference. Boy, I tell you what, it definitely is a long truck. A lot of body, a lot of bed, but hey, you know what? If you need that extra space, it is available. And one thing that I will show you real quick, here is the remote. No real changes there for 2024, but you'll see that you have your remote start where that's concerned. And the good thing about that is that you don't have to lock the truck anymore for that to work. And I'll show you how that works in just a second, but I did want to show you one thing you may or may not know about. When I unlock the truck, which I'm going to do for demonstration purposes of the remote start, you'll notice that those mirrors were folded in. There is a setting within the all-new 13.4-inch infotainment screen that allows you to determine whether or not that happens when you lock the truck. So, the truck is unlocked. Notice I didn't lock the truck. Just so you can see, that's one of the changes you're going to find here. And then I'll just go ahead and just turn that back off. And additional changes that you'll find for 2024, a refreshed front end, grills, the front bumper. We're going to have the animated headlights. Let's see if I can make that work for you real quick. We'll turn that off. I'm going to lock the truck and then I will unlock the truck and you'll see what happens here. I'm just showing you what's here. It's part of what you pay for if you're paying $99,380 for your truck. You'll also find upgraded power under the hood with the 6.6 liter Duramax diesel. And there's also now a 6.6 liter gas burner. And for those of you who say, Tom, there's not a 6.6 liter gas burning motor for these trucks. Do your research first. For those of you who are saying, what in the world is that voice about? That's what people sound like when they comment and don't know what they're talking about. It's okay. I like to give you a chance to laugh in these videos. It's all in good humor. And there will obviously be changes with more horsepower and torque. You're going to find upgrade in towing capabilities. How much is that? Well, here's the thing. Max towing with the 3500 is going to be 36,000 pounds. But there are a couple of things that you're going to have to consider when properly equipped. And what exactly does that mean? Well, number one, it's going to have to be the dual wheel version. You can go with the single wheel or dual wheel version of these trucks. If you're going to tow the max capability, you're also going to have to go with the regular cab. Just something to think about. Some people know that, some people don't. So let's talk a little bit more about what you get here with this Denali Ultimate trim level. LED lighting everywhere you look. LED daytime running lights. I don't have them on, but you'll also have the LED fog lights down there on the lower portion of the bumper, right down here. And then the LED projector beam headlights. You'll also have that unique to the Denali Ultimate trim level front grille. What other grille would you have? You can laugh at me because there's obviously only a front grille, right? Now, if you come up here to the front end of your truck and you take a look at the front camera and you're saying to yourself, what is that? Obviously, this is the camera, but what is that little piece on the right? Well, it is the front camera washer. Let me show you how that works. Now for demonstration purposes, I'm going to bring the front camera up on the screen. You don't have to have the front camera up for this option to work or this feature to work. But what's going to happen is every time you run your windshield washer fluid via the button right here on the turn signal lever that some of you know how to use to the fullest degree of its capabilities and some of you don't. But when you push that button, not only does it run the windshield washer fluid to clean off the windshield, but that also happens. So just so you can see it in action, that's what you have. And no, this truck hasn't been washed yet since it came in. It just arrived It's going to be washed, so nobody can complain and say I'm getting it dirty by running the windshield washer fluid. Yes, that does happen in the comments section sometimes. And this truck is four-wheel drive, and that's a great segue to tell you about tire and wheel size. So width, 275, I can barely get my hand all the way across that. A lot of tread on the ground. A 65 series sidewall wrapped around the 20-inch wheels. And obviously you'll have your Denali HD logo right there. And you saw the Ultimate logo here. Also, you know that you have the 10-speed automatic transmission and the Duramax diesel under the hood. And the towing mirrors, they're going to be power adjustable side view mirrors, towing mirrors that will extend out. And you saw earlier how they are power folding. And there's also a lot of additional light on the exterior of the truck. And that additional light starts right here with the side view mirrors. You have the LED lighting within that area. You'll also find your cab light up there that's going to help with lighting after dark, as well as the LED in-bed lighting. And last but not least, we'll have the light right here on the tailgate. This is the MultiPro Tailgate, by the way. One thing to note, and I will demonstrate exactly how this works later on in case you haven't seen that, but one thing to note is that you do have the feature to use the power tailgate, power to drop it, but not power to raise it back up. And if you're saying, well, why is that, Tom? When you go with the MultiPro Tailgate, the power up feature is not available. And we'll finish things off here on the rear with the LED tail lights. You're going to have the nice large corner steps or bumper steps that make getting in and out of the bed very easy if you don't want to put the tailgate down. And one other thing that I want to show here is the power steps. When the doors open, let's do one thing. Let's use our passive entry right there. That's the button right there. As long as you have the remote on your person, in your possession, you can use that button to open or unlock, I should say, all four doors. And then you're going to have your power side steps right here. That's going to be convenient. There is a way, if you're washing the truck and you want those to stay out, yes, you could partially leave the door open and just not close it all the way. It's still ajar, so to speak, and they would stay out. But there's actually a way to leave them deployed within the infotainment screen. So quite a lot of features here, quite a bit to talk about. We're going to get to that when we get to the interior, but I want to tell you first about what's under the hood. And you already know that the 6.6 liter Duramax diesel is under the hood. Its numbers are 470 on the horsepower, 975 on the torque, 25% increase in low-end torque. By the way, that's going to be very helpful, especially when you're towing. And as I said earlier, mated to the 10-speed automatic transmission. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to show you how this MultiPro Tailgate works, if that's what you want for your truck. So obviously it works as a conventional style tailgate. And you can use this area as a bed extender if you want to. You can also use it as a second option as a bed extender. I'll put that back up and we'll lower down this section. And number one, well, it could function as a table. I'm sure there's other ways you could use it as well. And then here is bed extender number two. So depending on your situation, if you need something like that, well, there you go. Pretty easy to deal with. And one thing, I don't know for sure that GMC intended this to be used this way, most likely, but I'm going to show it to you anyway, no matter if it was meant to be or not. So I'm going to drop that area. So let's say there's something here in the rear of the bed that you need to reach. Maybe you just need to get to the 120 volt power outlet right there, and you don't have long enough arms. Well, you can drop that area right there, and it just makes it a lot easier to gain access to that. You have multiple tie downs, as you can see, 3 in the front, 3 in the rear on both sides. Obviously a total of 12, but that's not the only thing we have here. You also have the step right there. Very easy to deal with, nice and wide if you need it. And on a truck that has the height that this model does, I think that grab handle is very useful. So that makes it easy to hop in and out of the interior of the bed of the truck when you need to do that. You also have the kicker audio system here with this model. Kind of makes it the ultimate tailgating truck in a lot of ways, and I don't know if I can show it to you from this angle. Well, yeah, I can right there. something else I know a lot of people like to know about, there is your spare tire. And another big benefit to these trucks is that it has the nice long cab. It means there's a lot of space within the interior for the driver and the passengers. Here on the Denali Ultimate trim level, you're going to have the Alpine Umber interior. Very spacious, very comfortable, really a luxury truck. Comfortable armrests, large door bins. There are so many little storage nooks and crannies and areas throughout the interior of this truck, including the in-seat storage right here on both sides. We also have the seat pockets back here to store things such as this loose piece of paper that I found in the interior. And something else that I like here is that there's not a really high transmission tunnel. So whoever's stuck in that middle seat here in the back row, well, they're going to be a lot more comfortable than they would be otherwise. And there is under-seat storage right here. I don't know if I can open that one-handed or not. Let's see if I can do that. Am I that talented? Apparently, I guess I can. And you can see that it's on both sides. I'm just going to show you the one side right here. And we'll lower the seat back down, the seat cushion. And in this case, I like the fact that you have the door handle right there, or the grab handle, I should say. That's not a door handle, is it? But it's okay. You can laugh at me for getting that wrong. There is the fold-down armrest, and I'm going to tell you what, there's a cup holder literally everywhere you look, built into the armrest as well as on the center console. Heated seats, at least the outboard seats. That's what these two buttons are for right here, and a couple of connectivity options along with those rear air conditioning vents. And then here on the roof, we're going to find that we have a sunroof. Now, it's a conventional size, not a panoramic. What I find is there's often three different people. People who are okay with the conventional size sunroof, people who would rather have a panoramic sunroof, or there's people like me who don't want a sunroof at all. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that we had the Alpine Umber interior, and you might say, well, Tom, what color is the exterior? This is sterling metallic. And we'll take a look here into the front seat area with the passenger side door. Comfortable armrest. Again, we're going to have what we saw on the rear doors as well, that baseball stitching, at least that's what it looks like right here, and your contrast stitching and the piping right here. Large door bins one more time. And the Ultimate logo right here, that's a good thing. And power seats, heated and ventilated as well. That's right here. It's going to be the control for your massage function on these seats. The Ultimate logo right there as well. And like I said earlier, you have a lot of different options for storage capacity. The upper and the lower glove box, quite a bit there, as well as the space on the side of the center console. And we'll hop on up into the truck, grabbing the grab handle. This time I won't call it a door handle, I'll call it a grab handle. So unfortunately, some of you are probably disappointed because you can't laugh at me again about that. But we'll take a quick look across the dash area and show you what we have. A nice design. For those of you who in the past have said, Tom, the interior of these trucks is sure looking antiquated, you're probably not saying that now. I think GMC has done a good job with the upgrades that came for the 2024 model year with these trucks. Now, you'll see some of your one-touch buttons here. There is the start-stop button for the engine. And for those who don't like having that console shifter right here, well, you have an old-school column shifter. And some people say, you know what, that's outdated. Some people say, I really like it. Some people don't care. Again, it's kind of like the sunroof. Which person are you? Now, one thing that you might say, Tom, why in the world on a truck that's nearly $100,000 is there no wireless charging pad? Well, that's because it's moved. There it is. So a totally different position. You just deposit your phone right down in here. I think that makes it pretty simple. Tell me what you think. And a nice large center console that doubles as an armrest, at least the lid does. Again, that Ultimate logo right there, kind of hard to see with the glare from the sun. But what isn't hard to see is that you have a lot of space within. The tray right here is removable. And then more connectivity options. You can see the USB over there on the left. Over here on the right is the power outlet. And a very deep console, plentiful space. There is a light back there in the rear. And if you want to control your sunroof, there is the button for doing so. It has the slide open and tilt feature, so depending on what you want to do, that's what you have. And I'll show you what else you have here with some of the additional buttons and switches for controlling different features and functionality. Here on the driver's side door panel, well, you'll find a few additions beyond what we saw on the passenger side as far as the controls for your windows, side view mirrors. And you'll also find seat memory, 2 different settings here. How many of you think that at the price point of this truck that you'd also should have seat memory on the passenger side over there? I'm curious to know what you think. And the button right here, if you need to fold those mirrors in before you park and lock the truck, if you have that feature set to where you lock the truck and the mirrors fold in, well, there's how you do it. And here we're going to find the power parking brake, drive mode selector, and over here on the right-hand side, to the right of the drive mode selector, there's where you're going to turn your cab light on and off, as well as all of the other exterior lighting. Headlights and taillights controlled here, as well as your fog lights. And if you're driving down the road and your auto high beams don't come on, there's the button to make sure they do. You can push that, then that function will start working. And you probably know what this is, your head-up display controls, and you have a tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel as well, so you can control everything, power driver's seat, and you can see the animated graphics on the screen right here. I know that doesn't mean much to a lot of people. You think, that's no big deal, but it's here. I might as well show you. So we'll go ahead and hit the push button start here on the truck and get things up and running. And here is your 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster for the driver's display. Very easy to use, but also very easy to customize. You can change quite a few things. How are we going to do that? Well, let me show you. On your steering wheel mounted controls that you have here, you do have adaptive cruise control. And right here, we're going to push that arrow, and there's display layout. So let's go over here to left side, right side, lower gauges. Everything is here that you need to make changes. And if you're saying to yourself, for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push in on the scroll wheel right here. We're going to select right side info. And you're saying to yourself, well, I just want to see the likeness of my truck instead of the tire pressure. Well, here's how you're going to do that. There you go. There it is right there. And so you can change that. In fact, you see the driving mode right there. It's normal. So let's change driving modes. You have normal and you have off-road. That's all you're going to have in this particular case. So depending on what you need to do, that's what you have. But that's how easy it is to make those changes. Pretty simple. And earlier you saw the turn signal lever right here that does more than just control the windshield washer fluid function and the front camera washer. But there it is right there. That's that button we looked at earlier. And a different view of your shifter. Now, one of the biggest changes here is going to be the infotainment screen. 13.4 inches of real estate. You still have your old school and very useful and I believe highly sought after control right there. The button and the knob for the radio to control the radio volume and turn it on and off. But on the rear of the steering wheel, you can also do the same thing on both sides, control volume and your stations. Now you have Google Assistant here that I'm not going to demonstrate because I don't want to set off Google Assistant in your home. That has happened before, but you say, hey, you know who, and you can use that feature. You can also make the selection right here, and that will work as well. Google Maps is here. You can pair your phone wirelessly and use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. You have your Play Store right there. Quite a bit going on with the truck. All of your trailering functionality and information right here. If you need to add a trailer, all that good stuff. It's all here, and it's all very easy to use. How about settings? Let's go in here, and I'll show you what we have. Connections, vehicle. You can see what all is here. Just out of curiosity, if you have it, you're going to have that answered right there. Now, I'm not going to give a deep, in-depth tour of this, but if you need to turn on the buckle to drive feature, that's where you're going to do that. I do encourage you to use your seatbelt when you're driving down the road, but you might be changing spaces in a parking lot or driving around in the pit area at the racetrack, whatever you're doing with your truck. Well, that can have helpful use as far as that goes, because in certain situations you don't need to use your seatbelt, especially driving around in the parking lot, unless you hope not. You never know with some of these bad drivers. But here's what we have as far as our safety features go. So you can see what all we have: automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, and you can go in and make changes. You can turn these things on and off. A lot that you can do where that is concerned. Rear cross traffic alert. I'm going to go back here, and one thing I did want to show you: power door locks. Let's go right there, and you'll see that you have the controls right there, depending on what you want to do or need to do with that. That's no big deal. Power door locks. And we also have the power assist steps right here. Remember when I said you can set it up to where they stay deployed? Here's how we're going to go there. So we hit deploy, they're automatically going to stay out. And there could be situations where you need that. So like I said, when you're washing the truck or having someone else wash the truck, that could be useful. And you don't have to go into reverse to use all of your different camera views. You can go right here and do so. So we're just going to select that. I already showed you a little bit of this, but you have that overhead 360-degree view. You have the front and rear view camera. I noticed those little dots right there. See that? When you have two of those, that means you have two different views. How about the view from overhead? If you need to see the front or the rear, there you go. The side view mirrors, also two views right there. And then we can see our trailer view. And you do have hitch guidance with this truck. There's all kinds of great features and great functionality here. You also have the in-bed camera right there. And if you need to zoom in, maybe you're hooking up to a fifth wheel or a gooseneck, well, there you go. There's the perfect view for that. There is so much here. I could probably spend a couple of hours on the infotainment screen alone, but I won't do that. Dual zone climate control. You can sync these two sides together if you want to, right there. And obviously, heated and ventilated seats. I don't need the heated seats today because, well, it's a little bit on the warm side here in Northwest Louisiana. Not terribly bad, but you can see that it is currently 74 degrees. That's in Fahrenheit, in case you're wondering about that. And a lot going on here. Such a simple system to use. Now, I do want to show you one thing. I'm going to reach over here and turn on the massage seat function, and you'll see what comes up here. So you can go in and make changes there as well. All I did was use that control that I showed you earlier, and you can go in. Maybe you had an aggressive back workout at the gym, and you can take advantage of these massage seats. That can make for quite a nice experience, and they do work quite well. You definitely know that they are working. And last but not least, as far as the interior goes, there is your rear view camera. As far as your mirror goes, now that's not the same thing as the rear view camera that we looked at on the infotainment screen earlier, but you can see that all you do is flip the lever down here, and you can turn that on or off. Depending on what you need to do, you can also make several adjustments over here as well. So tell me what you think down in the comments. Do you get the right features for a sticker price of $99,380 on this truck? Tell me what your thoughts are down in the comments. And one more thing I wanted to share. Here's a bonus for those of you who made it to this point in the video. There is an optional keypad. The Fords are not the only ones that have them anymore. If you want a keypad right here for your door, so you could leave your keys in the interior and lock the truck, that's there, and you'll be able to program that within the infotainment screen. You will have to have that installed at the dealership because there is a program that has to be sent, or a code that has to be sent to the dealership to be able to override the feature that keeps the truck from locking when your remote is in the truck. But just so you know what's there, maybe you didn't know that was available. It is, but it is an option. This truck is actually going to be outfitted with that, I believe, today or tomorrow. So tell me what you think about this. Now, this truck is pre-sold, so if you're saying to yourself, hey, Tom, I want to come in and buy that truck, you're still going to have to order one. I don't expect this sale to fall through here, but if it did, I'll let you know about it, that's for sure. But I'm pretty sure that the buyer is going to go ahead and purchase this truck. Sometimes these things, people change their mind, whatever it happens, but this one is pre-sold. So, do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this truck for the day, specifically Joey, who sold this truck. Thanks, Joey, I appreciate it. And I also want to say a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and haven't subscribed to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel just yet, please consider doing so. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.